Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new on here, my name is Philip. This is Phil Reacts. Today's reaction is definitely going to be different, very different, because we are stepping away from rock. We are stepping away from progressive music. We are stepping away from guitars and huge drum performances. We are entering the world of Enya. Today we are listening to ENYA'S album titled Shepherd Moons. Now, before we start, I want to, tell you exactly where I'm coming from. I'm not, completely unfamiliar with Enya. I've heard her music and I've heard her name. I know the atmosphere, but when it comes specifically to this album, there's only one song I've heard before, and that song is Caribbean Blue. That's it. That's the only song from Shepherd Moons that I personally know, and I've always loved the atmosphere of Caribbean Blue. There's something about that song that doesn't feel like ordinary music. It feels like you are being transported somewhere. So now I'm sitting here, just wondering if that's only one song on this album. What does the rest of the journey sound like? Is the entire album this peaceful? Is it all atmospheric? Are there songs that are completely different? And most importantly, can an album this quiet actually keep me emotionally engaged from beginning to end? Because that's going to be the challenge. With rock albums, you can grab that attention with huge guitar riffs. With progressive rock, you can surprise me with a 10 minutes instrumental journey. But Enya, I feel like she's working with space. She's working with atmosphere. She's working with a bit of texture. Her voice, her silence. So, guys, I'm really curious to see what happens. When I give this album my full attention. No distractions, no skipping, no judging. It's by modern standards, and just headphones on. Lights down, and definitely see where Enya takes me. So yeah, if you are an Enya fan, let me know in the comments which song on this album Shepherd Moons should I be paying attention, special attention to, because like I said, I only know Caribbean Blue. Everything else I'm discovering right now. So without not wasting any more time, album runtime goes a little beyond 53 minutes. Yes, 53 minutes and 3 seconds. Yeah, so without not wasting any more time, like I said, Enya, Shepherd Moons. First song is titled, the title track, Shepherd Moons. Let's take a listen, guys. Yeah. Okay. Nice. It sounds good. Okay, is this like an instrumental? Because I'm yet to hear some vocals. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay, guys. So the first song happens to be the title track of this album, Shepherd Moons. We came in. We definitely started with an instrumental, and immediately I understand the title. I mean, this doesn't feel like a traditional album opening. To me, it feels like an atmosphere. Almost like the first scene of a movie. I have to say there is something floating around the music. The sounds are incredibly soft, but they are not empty. I mean, there is a bit of depth, layers, textures, little sounds, appearing in the distance, then disappearing. It almost feels like I'm looking up, at the night sky, and I know that sounds incredibly dramatic in the bud. That's genuinely where my mind is going. I mean, this is music that makes you visualize things. I don't feel like I'm listening in a room anymore. I'm somewhere else, and that's only the first track. What's interesting is that Enya doesn't need a huge melody to accomplish this. She's definitely creating a mood, and honestly, I'm already slowing down. That's probably the biggest difference between this and the other albums I've been reacting to. Those albums make me want to analyze. Now this one makes me want to breathe. There is something very, very peaceful about it, and as the track fades, and I almost feel like I am being invited into the album rather than being introduced to it. That's beautiful. I loved it. Let me know what you guys think about this one down in the comment section, guys. We are moving on to the song that I already know, Caribbean Blue. Let's take a listen. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Caribbean Blue. The one. The only song on this album that I've heard before. After listening to it, I have to, guys, I have to be honest, it actually made me curious, because I've heard, the song outside, of the album, now I'm finally, hearing it in its original surroundings, and immediately it feels different. The opening is so beautiful. Those layered, vocals, that atmosphere, that sense of a movement. It's almost like the song is floating rather than moving forward. And ENYA'S, voice, wow, guys, her voice doesn't feel like it's coming from one person. It almost sounds like a choir, made from one voice. I mean, that is what fascinates me, guys. I have to be honest. The layers, absolutely, creates this new huge vocal or landscape, but somehow everything still sounds intimate. And then the melody, arrives. I've always, liked this song, but I'm realizing now that I may not, have appreciated the production enough. There's so much happening underneath the surface. The harmonies, the keyboards, the vocal layers, the subtle, rhythmic elements, everything is carefully stacked, and yet it doesn't feel busy. Don't know if that makes sense. That's incredible. The song, gives me this feeling of being somewhere, far away, somewhere peaceful, maybe by the ocean, maybe, somewhere completely imaginary. And that's the magic. The title, says Caribbean Blue, but the music, I feel like doesn't necessarily make me think only, of a physical place. I mean, it creates a feeling that's much more powerful. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about this one. I mean, like I said, this happens to be one of my favorite songs from ENYA, and I loved it. I'm super happy to have actually come back to listen to it in the context of the album. Yeah. Moving on to track 3. This one is titled How Can I Keep from Singing? How can I keep from singing? Okay. Like a question mark. Let's take a listen.
My life goes on in endless song above earth's lamentation. I hear the real though far off hymn, the tales a new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear its music ringing. It sounds an echo in my soul. How can I keep from singing?
Wow. Can I keep from
What though
singing?
the tempest loudly roars, I hear the trumpet liveth, and though the darkness round me close, songs in the night it giveth.
Wow.
No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love is Lord of heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing? tyrants tremble in their fear, and hear their dead knell ringing, when friends rejoice both far and near. How can I keep from singing? In prison cell and dungeon vile, our thoughts to them are winging, when friends by shame are undefiled. How can I keep from
How can I keep from singing? Wow. Wow, guys. Wow. All right, guys. How can I keep from singing? After listening to it, I have to say this is different. I mean, the first thing that caught me was the vocal presentation. I mean, it's much more stripped back than what I just heard. I mean, and that actually makes ENYA'S voice feel even more exposed. The melody is absolutely beautiful. There's something almost timeless about it. And then I realized this song has a very different character from Caribbean Blue. I love the fact that it's not trying to create that that same huge atmospheric sort of world. It's more intimate and more direct, and I appreciate that because one thing I was worried about before starting this album was whether every song would simply sound like another version of Caribbean Blue. Thankfully that's not happening. I mean, ENYA is showing different sides of her sound, and I feel like this sounds almost like a traditional song being transformed into her own musical language. The vocal harmonies are gorgeous. I mean, there's something peaceful about the way she delivers it, and I think this might be the first moment where I'm realizing this album isn't really about individual song. It's about creating an environment. Each song feels like another room inside the same house. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, but I loved it. Let me know what you guys think about this one down in the comment section, guys. Moving on to track 4. This one is titled Ebudæ. Hopefully I'm getting that pronunciation right, but yeah, let's take a listen. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Wow. All right, guys. After listening to this one, I honestly have to say this hits completely different again. I mean, and it's not and it's only 2 minutes long. The rhythm, I have to say, immediately grabbed me. There is something almost ancient, about this. It feels like a chant, more like a ritual, something from another time. And I love how, Enya, can create that, feeling without, a huge arrangement. The vocals, become almost percussive. The rhythm becomes, part of the melody. And, suddenly, I'm not thinking about, traditional, song structure at all. I'm simply listening to the sound. This feels incredibly atmospheric, almost mystical. And honestly, I wasn't expecting this. I have to say, I have to be completely honest. I thought this album would be mostly, beautiful melodies and, peaceful vocals. But now I'm actually realizing there are going to be moments that are, much more experimental. And that's exciting because it means I can't, predict where this album is going. Yeah. Let me know what you think about it. Moving on to track 5. This one is titled ENYA'S. Okay, let's go. Wow.
Are you nearest when should fall? Am I to believe you will rise to calm this storm? For so great a treasure words will never do. If this is promises I'm to give you, mine to give. Hear now, all too soon that day, wish them to fond altar or tomorrow. I should know heaven has a way, each one given memories to. ENYA'S
Wow.
would be should you move both earth and sea. ENYA'S I could feel all those dark clouds disappear.
Yeah.
As I breathe, comes an angel to their keep. Surely,
Wow.
if this
Guys, the feeling I'm getting right now, I cannot really describe it.
are mine to give you, mine to give.
Guys, the fifth song, Angelus. Yes, I loved it. Wow, the atmosphere. I mean, I feel like it changes again. I mean, this feels much more expansive. There's a sense of space around the vocals, almost like the music is actually echoing through a massive cathedral. That's the image that comes into my mind. The melody is beautiful, but there's something slightly melancholy underneath it, and that's important because ENYA'S music to me isn't simply happy relaxing music, quote unquote. That's often a little I mean, there's often a little, sadness, beneath the beauty, and I really, really, really like that. It definitely gives the music emotional depth. Her vocals, sounds almost weightless, but the layered production, to me, gives it enormous, scale. That's such a an interesting sort of a combination. The vocals, sound delicate, and whilst the overall sound, feels enormous. And I'm really, really starting to understand why people, describe ENYA'S music, as cinematic. You don't just hear it. You see things. You actually imagine things. You remember things. You create your own little movie inside your head. you know, that is what this song, is doing to me right now. Yeah, I loved it. I mean, so for my first impressions, after just the five tracks of this album, I definitely need to stop for a second because I came into this album knowing only Caribbean Blue, and I honestly thought the song might be the obvious centerpiece, but now I'm actually realizing it might simply be one part of a larger experience. The album already feels like a journey through different environments. Shepherd Moon's, I mean, the opener, felt cosmic. Caribbean Blue, felt oceanic. How can I, keep from singing? That song, felt intimate. And then Ebudæ, that one felt ancient. That's the only word I can. And then Angelis felt almost heavenly. That's five songs. And to me, each one has its own atmosphere. That's impressive. And guys, here's the weirdest thing. I'm sitting here, listening to an album, with a very little conventional, percussion, very little, obvious aggression, and yet I'm completely engaged. And that's not, that's not to say that's not easy. It means the music is actually doing something beyond rhythm. I mean, it's creating emotions, through texture, and I am really, really curious to see where ENYA takes this next. Yeah, but before we continue, a question for you guys. I mean, if you could listen to this album for the first time all over again, which song would you want to experience fresh? And I mean, for those of you who have loved ENYA for years, is Caribbean Blue still your favorite? Because after hearing the first five tracks in context, I'm really, really starting to wonder if I may discover, something that eventually, takes its place. Yeah, let me know that in the comment section. Let's keep going. Moving on to the sixth song. This one is titled "No Holy" for Miss Quinn. Let's go. Wow. Sounds good. Wow. So good. Guys, wow, this is a completely different side of Enya, in my opinion. I mean, we are just, we just came out of Angelis, which felt huge and, almost heavenly. And now suddenly, everything becomes quiet. I mean, there is no big vocal arrangement, on this particular song, no sweeping atmosphere. It's just this delicate piano. And honestly, I wasn't expecting that, but I really, really liked it. I mean, there is something incredibly intimate about it. It almost feels like I've walked into a completely different room. The rest of the album has felt like I'm looking at these enormous landscapes, oceans, skies, ancient places, dreamlike worlds. But this feels personal, almost like I'm sitting inside somebody's house, late in the afternoon. Maybe there's no rain outside, and somebody is sitting at the piano just playing whatever is on their mind. That's the feeling I'm getting. And I think the simplicity is what makes it work. Enya, I have to say, doesn't need to fill every second with sound. She to me, she knows when to leave space, and that actually makes me appreciate the previous tracks even more, because now I'm actually realizing how carefully this album is being paced. It's not just the one beautiful atmospheric song after another. She's actually giving me moments to breathe, and I really, really appreciate that. The title also makes me curious. No Holy for Miss Quinn. I have absolutely no idea who Miss Quinn is, but there's something almost storybook like about that title. It makes me imagine a character, an old house, a winter setting, somebody sitting alone, maybe remembering something, and the piano seems to fit that imagery scene perfectly. That's what I'm discovering about Enya. I mean, she doesn't necessarily tell me exactly what to imagine. She goes and she gives me enough music to create my own picture, and that's powerful. This is a short track, but I don't think it's a filler. I think it's one of those little moments that makes the entire album breathe. And honestly, I'm really, really starting to realize that Shepherd Moon isn't an album I should rush through. I need to let these little moments happen. So far, this isn't my favorite track, but I definitely appreciate why it's there. And I am so curious to see what happens next, because after this quiet little piano moment, I'm ready to see where the next track, which is titled Book of Days, takes us. Yeah, let's take a listen. Yeah. Wow. Guys. Yeah. adding this to the playlist, guys. I'm loving it. Whoa. We are still building some level of anticipation. Wow, guys, loving this song. Wow. Guys, okay. This one immediately feels more alive. I mean, there's absolutely there's movement here is all I'm trying to say. A little more rhythm, and I really like that because I mean we've spent the first half of the album floating through these incredibly atmospheric soundscapes. Now there's a bit of pulse. The melody is absolutely beautiful, and ENYA'S vocals have this almost timeless sort of quality. The song feels ancient and modern all at the same time. I mean that's difficult to actually explain. I mean it's almost like you are hearing something that could have existed hundreds of years ago, but it's still being presented through more than studio production. The layered vocals are once again incredible, and there's something very, very uplifting about this track, I must say. I mean, it doesn't feel overly dramatic. It simply feels hopeful, like you are opening a new chapter. And I think that makes the title Book of Days feel appropriate. It gives me the feeling of memories. It gives me the feeling of time passing, different chapters of life, moments that come and go. And honestly, this is one of those songs where I don't need to understand every little detail to actually connect with it. I mean, the feeling is enough. I loved it. Let me know, guys, what you think about this one down the comment section. We are moving on to the 8th song. This one is titled Evacuee. Hopefully I'm getting that pronunciation right, guys. Let's take a listen.
Each time on my leaving home, I run back to my mother's arms. One last hold and then it's over. Watching me, I cry. You wave a kiss to say goodbye. Feel the sky fall down. must wait until it's over.
Wow.
All I am, a child with promises. All I have are miles full of promises of hope. Days will pass, your words to me, it seems so long, eternity. But I must wait and then it's
Okay. Yeah. Guys, I have to say, after listening to this one, I mean, this one, feels different, really, really different. After the warmth and movement of the previous track, Book of Days, I'm, suddenly hearing something much more emotional. And even without knowing the story, behind the song yet, I can definitely feel that there's something sad underneath this. I mean, there is this beautiful vocal arrangement, but it doesn't feel peaceful in the same way that Caribbean Blue did. There is a sense of longing here, almost like somebody is remembering a place or a person, and they are trying to hold on to that memory. ENYA'S voice is incredibly delicate. She's not pushing the emotion. She's almost letting it float, and somehow that makes it that makes it hurt even more. The music is beautiful, but I'm feeling a little sadness underneath it, and I think that's becoming one of the most interesting things about this album, Shepherd Moons. This album can sound incredibly peaceful, while still carrying a lot of melancholy. It doesn't always announce the sadness. Sometimes it doesn't always announce the sadness. Sometimes it's hidden underneath the beauty. And then I start paying attention to the title, Evacuee. Guys, forgive me if I'm not getting the pronunciation right. So based on a few facts that I pulled up here, an evacuee is somebody who has been forced to leave home. Yeah. Wow. After looking it up, I mean, suddenly the feeling I was getting from the song makes more sense. There's a feeling of separation here, or leaving somewhere familiar, of actually wanting to go back. I mean, this feels grounded. This feels real. It feels sad, but beautiful. And honestly, this might be one of the tracks that sticks with me more after I finish listening to this album, because now I'm actually realizing something about Enya. She doesn't always need huge emotional vocals to make you feel something. Sometimes she simply creates the atmosphere and lets you feel in the emotions. This one really got to me, I must say. And now I'm curious, because I mean, if we are only 8 tracks in, what else is Enya hiding on the rest of this album? I cannot wait. Let's continue. Moving on to track 9. This one is titled Lothlórien. Hopefully I'm getting that pronunciation right. Let's take a listen. Okay. an instrumental. All right. All right, guys. So after Evacuee, I'm honestly not sure, what I expected next. But I mean, this feels like we are leaving the real world again. Evacuee had that very human, sadness to it. But and now I feel like we are somewhere completely different. I mean, there is no singing, no lyrics, just this beautiful instrumental atmosphere. And the title, Lothlórien, based on a few facts that I pulled up. This is a name from the Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I mean, immediately I feel like this makes sense. That explains why my imagination was actually going somewhere. I was actually thinking forest. I was thinking ancient trees. I was thinking mists. Something magical. I mean, something untouched by the modern world. And honestly, the music fits that picture perfectly. I mean, it's only about 2 minutes long, but I have to say it doesn't feel insignificant. It feels like a little musical postcard. Like ENYA, is giving us a glimpse of another world, and then taking us away before we get too comfortable. I really, really, really like the way the piano moves here. There is something delicate about it, but there's also this sense of mystery underneath. It doesn't feel completely peaceful. There's a little bit of a darkness and hiding in the atmosphere, and that's actually what makes it interesting. I mean, if this were simply beautiful piano music, I might appreciate it and move on. But there's something almost magical about that arrangement, and it makes me imagine a place I've never actually been. That's one of the things I'm beginning to love about Shepherd Moons. ENYA doesn't always give me a story. Sometimes she gives me a landscape, and I get to decide what happens inside of it. Yeah, after Evacuee, it feels almost like stepping away from human sadness and entering a fantasy world for a couple of minutes, and then I mean it's gone. That's it. I mean, 2 minutes, but somehow it leaves an impression. I don't think this is going to be one of my biggest favorites on the album, but I definitely understand why it's there in the first place. It's another piece of the atmosphere, another little doorway. And now I'm really, really curious about the next track, which is titled Marble Falls, because after going from a real life story to Middle Earth, I have absolutely no idea where ENYA is taking me next. Let's keep going. Like I said, the next track is titled Marble Halls. Let's take a listen.
Where ages old.
This feels elegant.
To count, and a high ancestral name, but I also dreamt, which pleased me most, that you loved me still the same, that you loved me still the same, that you loved me still the same.
Yeah.
Dreamt that suitor sought my hand, that nights upon bended knee, and with vows no maiden's heart could withstand, they pledged their fate to me. And I dreamt that one of that noble host came forth my hand to claim, but I also dreamt, which charmed me most, that you loved me still the same, that you loved me still the same, that you loved me still the same.
Okay, guys, so that was a 10th song, Marble Hall. Now, this feels incredibly elegant. You know, there is something almost classical about the melody, and ENYA'S voice sounds gorgeous here. I mean, it's more intimate again, almost like she's performing inside a beautiful empty hall. And I think that's where the title takes my imagination. Marble halls. I mean, I can picture huge rooms. I mean, stone walls, echoes. I mean, light coming through enormous windows, and one voice filling the entire space. That is what this music does. It gives you images. You don't just hear a melody. You actually create a space. And honestly, I think that's one of the reasons this album feels so cinematic. I mean, there's so much room for imagination. I mean, the song itself feels almost like a dream, and I'm starting to realize that's probably exactly what ENYA wants. She isn't giving you every little detail. She's giving you enough to create your own. Yeah, let me know what you think about it, guys. Moving on to the 11th song. This one is titled Afer Ventus. Okay, let's take a listen. Wow, we are definitely going somewhere mysterious again. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, I feel like we are going somewhere more mysterious again. After listening to this one, the first thing that caught my attention is the vocal language. I didn't really understand every word, and somehow that makes the song even more interesting because I'm listening to the voice, as an instrument. The melody becomes the meaning, the harmonies become the emotions, and I feel like that's something Enya does incredibly well. She can definitely make the human voice feel almost otherworldly. I have to say the instrumentation was out of this world. I mean, the instrumentation underneath it all, was gorgeous. There's a gentle rhythm, but the atmosphere, remains huge. It's almost like I'm floating through some ancient landscape, and I'm realizing something. If I were, trying to describe this album, to someone who had, never heard it, I'd probably fail because it's not simply a new age. It's not simply ambient. It's not simply Celtic. To me, it's a mixture of, all all these things, but somehow it becomes its own language. That is what I feel like makes it special. I loved it. Let me know what you think about this one down the comment section. Going to the final song. This one is titled Smaointe. Smaointe. Guys, I'm sorry if I'm not getting the pronunciation right, but let's take a listen. Wow. Nice. Okay. Wow, guys, this feels like the end. Not just the end of the song. The end. Of the journey. There's something incredibly emotional about the opening. It feels distant. Almost like a memory. Slowing, returning, and the vocals, they are beautiful. But there's also sadness. A kind of quiet sadness, not heartbreak, more like saying goodbye to something you can't hold onto forever. The instrumentation is incredibly restrained. Nothing is fighting for attention. Everything simply exists around the voice. And as the song continues, I felt something slowing down again. That's something I feel like this album has done incredibly well. It changes, your pace. You start listening differently. You stop thinking about, what comes next. You simply, stay in the moment. And as the final moments, approach, I was actually surprised by how emotional, I felt. I didn't really expect this album to affect me like this. I actually came in, thinking I was going to hear, some beautiful atmospheric, music. Instead, I felt like I've just spent almost an hour, somewhere completely outside of everyday life, and now I'm being brought back. Yeah, I love the guys. Let me know what you think about this song. I couldn't get the name of the pronunciation right, but yeah. Let me know your thoughts about it down in the comment section. All right. Wow. Guys, we are finally done with ENYA'S Shepherd Moons. I've reached the end. And honestly, I think I need a second, to actually take everything in, because this was not what I expected. I came into this album, knowing only Caribbean Blue. I thought I was going to discover an album with a few beautiful atmospheric songs. Guys, what I discovered was an entire world. This isn't really an album I could describe as something you simply listen to. It is something that you enter it, you disappear into it, and eventually you come back out. ENYA'S voice, I have to say, is the biggest thing that stood out to me. It's incredibly distinctive, but what's even more fascinating is how she uses it. Sometimes it sounds like one person. Sometimes it sounds like a choir. Sometimes it feels like an instrument. Sometimes it feels like the voice is actually floating somewhere above the music. The layering is absolutely incredible, and because the vocals are so carefully arranged, the songs feel much larger than they actually are. It's intimate, but enormous at the same time. The production might also be my favorite part, of the entire album. Everything felt spacious. There's actually room between sounds. The keyboards, don't feel crowded. The vocals, float around the arrangement, and the reverb, I feel like creates this, incredible sense of distance. It feels like the music, is happening somewhere, far away. That's probably why this album works so well, with headphones. You can hear details that might disappear if you are listening casually. I mean, the biggest surprise for me listening to this album was how emotional the album became. I expected beauty, I expected relaxation, I expected atmosphere, but I didn't expect nostalgia. I didn't expect longing. I didn't expect moments where I would simply sit there and think about my own life. That is what separates good atmospheric music from great atmospheric music. I mean, good music creates a mood. Great music gives you somewhere to put your emotions. This album does that. Yeah. We have to talk about Caribbean Blues. Like I said, that was the only song I knew before coming into this album. Before today, like I said, I love the song. Now I actually understand it. I understand where it fits. I understand the atmosphere in the ENYA was trying to create across the entire record, and hearing it surrounded by other songs actually makes me appreciate it even more. It isn't an isolated beautiful song anymore. To me, it's one part of this entire dream. And honestly, that's why I think hearing full albums matters. I always say this. I mean, context changes everything. Context actually changes the emotional experience. So after one complete listen, these are the tracks that stayed with me. These are the tracks that I would consider my favorite tracks, off of this album. Obviously Caribbean Blue. I mean, still beautiful, still my familiar entry point, but now I actually hear it differently. I'll put Book of Days in there. That song really, really, really surprised me. I mean, it has more movement and energy, but it still fits perfectly into the album. I'll throw in Shepherd Moons, the opener. I mean, the opening atmosphere immediately transported me somewhere else. Yeah. And then Angelis, beautifully atmospheric. I mean, the vocal layering and the sense of space are incredible. I'll throw in Smaointe. Yeah. I mean, the closing track really, really got me. I mean, it felt like saying goodbye to a dream. Yeah. So guys, after, listening, to this album from beginning to end, if I'm to rate it, I'll definitely rate this like a hard 9.5 out of 10, and I already know this is going to be one of those albums that sound different depending on the time of the day. I mean, listen to it in the morning, it probably feels peaceful. Listen to it at night, it might feel completely different. Listening to it when you're happy, you definitely hear one thing. Listening to it when you're going through something, you probably hear something else. That's the mark of music with emotional depth. Yeah, that is all I have to say about this one. But as always, I really, really want to hear what you guys also have to say. I mean, if Caribbean Blue was the only song you knew before hearing this album, which song would you like to tell someone to experience next? And after hearing the entire record, which track is your personal favorite? Is it Caribbean Blues? Is it Book of Days? Is it Angelis? Is it Shepherd Moons, or something completely different? So if you enjoyed, taking this journey with me, hit that like button. And if you're new on here and you enjoy first time album reactions, discovering legendary artists and experiencing entire albums rather than just bigger songs, then make sure that you subscribe and keep the recommendations coming, because this album reminded me that sometimes music doesn't need to be loud to actually make a huge impact. Sometimes all it needs to do is create a place for you to disappear into for a while. Yeah, so thank you for spending time with me. On to the next reaction. Turn the lights down, put those headphones on, and give great albums the time they actually deserve. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.